and that will be available for you after. So I'm Rosa Smith Montanaro. I am your virtual coach and trainer. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about visualizing your goal, but inserting it into your future. It's really a very powerful process. It's actually a simple process. There's nothing about me that makes me special to do it with you. I am trained in it, and there's a lot of nuances, but I think it is a really cool training overall, the timeline therapy training, and it's about understanding individuals' timelines and how we carry stuff with us from the past. We bring it into our future. There's a lot of really cool pieces. So, even though anyone can do this, what I'm about to take you through this process, there's a lot of cool fine-tuning things we can do to make it better. What I'm going to do for the sake of simplicity is simply lay it out for you, take you through it, have you identify your goal, insert it into the future, and kind of give you the tips to make it, fine-tune it better. And then we'll wrap up. And when we wrap up, we'll do like questions and answers, because there will be a closed eye point where you'll close your eye and close your eyes and you do this. And even though it's not hypnosis, it can be really trancy. Some of you have worked with me in hypnosis extensively as a coach. And so those of you who've done that, because there's a layer of trust and effectiveness where you've gotten results, you're probably going to jump right in and probably go into a trance without you don't even need to, but you will, because you're conditioned, so to speak, to my voice and to the hypnotic cues that I typically make in the sessions. When I tell you to just close your eyes and relax, you'll be like, oh, bam, I'm there. And you'll get a lot out of it. So, but you don't have to go that deep to get so much out of it. You can really be very aware of what's happening and still get a lot out of it. So what I want you to know about timeline therapy and that part of neurolinguistics, the family of that, is it's a tool that's highly effective without you believing in it and without you having to really do much on your part. I will guide you through it. All I ask you to do is engage your imagination. When you can engage imagination, when you can just follow my lead on this, you'll get so much more out of it. And it really is a really cool process. And as I said earlier, but before we started recording this, there's timelines. This is a little more technical, but if we were working together one-on-one, I'd probably ask you some questions about how do you perceive time. And those of you who are more type A personalities, you're probably perceiving time, let's say, where it's always something that you're aware of, like how much time do I have? Am I following the timeline? What's our timeline? What's our game plan? I'm one of those people. So I understand that. And that means we're not engaged in the actual moment. We usually pull ourselves out of the moment and we look at things outside of ourselves as that event. And that's one way to see a timeline. So it's helpful when you know how you perceive your time. The second type of person who perceives a timeline, they're really more that go with the flow personality. They're actually embedded in time. They lose track of time. They're usually the ones who aren't conceptualizing time until it hits them. So a funny one would be when I say, what are you planning on doing it's almost silly to talk about vacation right now, right? But what about, when you say to someone, have you taken your vacation? Where are you going to go? Some people say, I haven't thought that far ahead. Those are usually in-time people. People that are, maybe that's not the right term, but they're really in the moment, and they perceive time by being embedded in it. And so they look around and go, oh yeah, lunch is in 2 hours. I don't even really think about that just yet. And the other one who's more literal maybe is thinking, okay, I need a plan. What am I eating for lunch? Because am I going to be somewhere else or am I going to be here? They look at it like it's over there and they have to plan it. So I hope that helps you just to self-identify, because people that there's value and gifts in both perceptions, But to be aware of your perception is helpful for you to get the most out of these type of processes and for setting goals. Because when you're embedded in the moment, it's wonderful. I mean, it gives you more peace, I found. I've had to learn to be more that way. And I've had to really learn to do that. And it does give you a lot less stress and anxiety. But then it has its moments, because if we're not anticipating something until later, we may have a different type of stress. But for the sake of the technique, it's very useful to remove yourself from the time, your life, and almost hover above it. So this timeline therapy technique that Dr. Tad James taught me, trained me, and I want to say I did it with neuroenergetics as well at the advanced level master practitioner of timeline therapy and time-based techniques. They both operate on a similar theory and formula, and that is, you just imagine your life in some form of a line, right? And when we do this, you lift yourself mentally above it, almost like you're going to float over this chair, over this home, over this neighborhood, so that you could look down and see your life there. And you can almost see those events. There's a lot of techniques in timeline therapy. It's so healing and therapeutic. And that's because what we would say, you are disassociating from the event. So what's helpful to you is to remove yourself feeling-wise from all of it, so that you're not attached to any of it. And that's why you could do some good trauma work, even though it might be an extreme word for what I'm doing. But if you're the type of person that wants to let go of maybe choices you didn't feel good about in the past, or things that caused you to feel sad or forgive, this is a very, very effective technique. And even though we're not using it for what we're doing today, I'm just giving you, a nice overview of variances on how you could use it and how I've used it with myself and my clients over the years very successfully. And the other trick, if you want a trick to this, if you're really embedded in time and it's hard for you to pull yourself away from it, my little go-to trick is rise up above, look down at everything, and imagine you're walking on a sheet of plexiglass. So you're completely on plexiglass, very strong, very stable. Like when you go to, is it Toronto? When we go to Toronto, CNN Tower, guys, and you could step out there and you could look down and there's that glass floor. That's really very useful for removing yourself from an unpleasant memory. So if you were trying to let go of something, you're trying to do timeline therapy on yourself, or you're just trying to do this better and you're practicing, just rise all the way up, put a piece of plexiglass on it and walk on it, and then watch your life that way. I hope this is helpful. These are my tricks I've learned over the years. And so even though I say, anyone can do this, it does take a while to learn what works and where they fall short, and where they fall short, but where the technique isn't reaching their concept of how this could play out. Sorry, that's a noisy swallow. So that's what we're going to do. What I want you to do first, I have my notes just so I stay on track. I want you to identify your goal and write it down. And I don't know if you have a paper and pen, you don't have to write in the chat, but identify a goal. This works really, really well with a specific goal, because we're going to go up, over, insert. And you want to plant it in the future. The mind doesn't understand the concept of time. That's why this works so well. You don't know what's in the past. You don't know what's in the future. You don't even know what's going on right now. I mean, technically, if we were, as we are, very stressed out, we could easily lose track of all that, and our mind won't know that it's happening. Reality is such it's a concept, right? So we're doing this because we're indicating to our brilliant brain that this is, in fact, what's in store for me. This is going to be my reality. Start guiding me there now. Put that in your programming now, right? And it's magical. It's so great. That's why I have the magical waterfall behind me, because this is magical. So anyway, can be if you let it. Because we're doing it anyway with all this other stuff, right? We're doing it anyway. So we are identifying a goal, probably, I'm guessing 3, 6, 9 months, maybe a year, something that is within reach for you. And I am not as concerned with long-term goals, but I feel like sometimes if it's too long-term, you may forget to keep doing this process. You may just, you may not be measuring your accountability and steps to take towards getting there. So I would prefer to do something, let's say myself, I'm speaking for me. Where are we? We are in May. I'll probably pick a September date. Maybe even an end of a year date at the latest, because there are some extenuating circumstances right now for us. And so let's say I want to do a book tour. That'd be a good example. I mean, unless it's a virtual book tour, probably not the best idea, probably not the best time. So maybe I see though that my book sales are up, and maybe I see that I've got so many downloads on Amazon. And I see that by September. I see that I'm celebrating in January, having hit best-selling author status or something. You only need 10,000, I believe, sales to have that. Not that I've had 10,000 sales, but I thought, well, you know what? That's interesting. I didn't know there was a real number attached to it. So you could be a best-selling author and nobody knows who you are, right? Except for the people that love you. That is a really cool concept. So anyway, I'm just throwing out ideas because we're really gearing towards that SMART goal. Is it specific? Is it measurable? That's why I told you, if I were to say something like that, it's specific, it's measurable, right? Is it realistic? You're going to cross-reference that. I mean, if I haven't written a book yet and I want to be a best-selling author by January, that's not realistic. Right? So realistic for you, what's realistic? All things are possible, but what's realistic? And then of course, there's I wrote these down so I don't forget. Is it attainable, right? There's different words that people talk. Is it time sensitive? Do you have a time appropriate attachment to it? Those kind of things will be helpful to you to make this effective. So write down your goal, ask yourself, can you measure it a little bit? Is it realistic for you? And is it something that you can say, I can do this. This is something that I have the ability to accomplish. Maybe I'm not exactly clear right now, but don't worry about that. Do you have the ability to do it? Yes, right? It's the aptitude, the attitude. And then what we do is, this is really important. This is really important, is imagine this goal. Imagine that it's yours. I just got chills. Imagine it's yours. Okay, here's what you do next. How do you know you have it? Now take a nice deep breath. Right, breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And ask yourself, it's happening. This is mine. I'm in possession of this goal. I am this. We are one. How do you know you have it? And think about, was there something you saw? Was it something that somebody said to you? Do you see something on your computer? Ask yourself how you know that is 100% yours. And take a mental note of that. And then I'm going to ask you to identify the feeling that goes with that. And I like the feeling of not, I'm about to get it. So really important, not the anticipation of it, but the, I've obtained it. It's actually something I can show you a picture of. I did it. Look at this. I have evidence to show you. What is that feeling for you? Great. Now, what I'm going to have you do next is you're going to just take a nice deep breath. Breathe in through your nose. And I'll tell you what we're going to do, and then we'll do it. Because you're going to take some nice deep breaths. We're going to close our eyes. You're going to imagine a picture of this. We're going to put it into a photo. I always think of the Polaroid camera photos because you can hold it on the end. Think of a photo of this event. And then we're going to go up. We're going to do some things first. But then when we get it where we want it, we're going to go way up above that timeline. And you may have to put the plexiglass there if you need to. And we're going to go way into the future to where this actually happened. And we're going to go down into that moment. Okay? And then we're going to, make some changes or whatever we need to make to modify. And we're going to make some observations. And then we'll come back up and we'll come back towards now. So that's kind of the whole process, so you know it. And then I'll ask you some questions. So close your eyes and take some nice deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Use your hypnosis breathing. In through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Okay. You're going to create a picture of yourself accomplishing this goal. So as you're breathing in deeply, in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, I want you to imagine that you did it. You reached your goal. You actually surpassed it. Notice what you're wearing. Notice what you're hearing. Imagine seeing yourself. That feeling that comes after accomplishing it and knowing it really happened. Even if you don't visualize, you can imagine the feelings. You can hear the self-talk. You can imagine a conversation with someone else. That's right. And as you're feeling those feelings, you're encapsulating this wonderful memory into a photo. And what you're going to do is you're going to step into this picture. Someone took the picture of you. Step into the picture and make some observations. Make it brighter. Amplify the pleasant sounds. Bring it closer so you feel more excited about it, or whatever the feeling is that's positive for you. And as you amplify it, maybe the self-talk is more upbeat. Very good. Now step out of the picture, because now you're ready. You are ready for this, to manifest this. And look at that picture. Look at this picture. Hold it up in your hand. And as you're looking at this picture, you're going to energize it. You're going to energize it, and you're going to take 4 deep breaths. In through your nose, breathing in peace and relaxation and beautiful energy. And you're going to exhale, blowing that positive energy right into the picture. And you might even imagine that magical white light that floats up above you, the source of all love, all healing, that godlike energy that's always connected to you. All things are possible. It's swirling around you, and as you breathe in, it is energizing you, infusing you with positive energy, healing, loving energy, purpose-driven energy. And as you exhale, breathing that energy into the picture. In through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And as you energize that picture, unstoppable. Holding your picture, you're going to rise way up above. And as you're rising up above this room, this home, this community, all the way up so that you can see your life down there. There you are, all the way down there. You're still connected by that beautiful light. You are always connected. Rise way, 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 way up above. And I want you to go into the future, floating forward in time. And you're looking down into your amazing future. And you're going to float right down, hovering over that spot where this picture belongs in your future. And you are going to, with so much love and appreciation and certainty, pop that right into your timeline. Just pop it right in, right where it belongs. And I want you to stay hovering up above. Look at yourself down there, having received all this good, positive energy, goals, manifesting amazing things. Just take a glance over your timeline now. Notice how the past events are resequencing themselves. Some changes are going on in the past to support the goal. Smile. Nod yes. And as you stay hovering above, everything is realigning to support this goal. Trust your brilliant subconscious mind. It is, in fact, guiding you towards this goal. You will manifest it. And it is giving you cues. It's making changes to support these goals. Tune in to your inner consciousness, the higher consciousness, trusting they are all aligned to manifest this. And as you imagine this and embrace it, because it's pretty awesome, we're going to do one more thing. You're going to float up above. You're going to go forward in time, even forward into the future. And imagine a time in the future that you're looking forward to. All this has been part of your life. You've accomplished this goal. It's been reality for you for a while now. And you're feeling really good about it. You're pursuing other goals. This is part of who you are. And imagine that you could just drop down and visit this future you. Just drop down into that room. And imagine how good it feels looking back on this. How great it feels to have accomplished this. And imagine that you log on to your computer. And if you have Facebook or Instagram or any of those social media outlets, imagine you're looking through your feed. And if you don't use those, imagine you're looking through a photo album. Or pictures on your camera, pictures on your smartphone. You're looking through your memories. And there's that picture. And you smile. And you remember how happy it felt to make that a reality. Be in that moment. Be in that memory. Amplify the feelings. Make it brighter. What are you saying to yourself? How do you feel? And I'm going to ask you, if you knew then what you know now, what skills or beliefs or behaviors would be useful for you to bring back to now, to start to work on? And trust that these continue to be revealed to you long after you leave this moment. My voice will stay with you in a loving, positive way, nudging you to acquire those skills, to change those beliefs and those habits, to modify what needs to be modified so that you are in fact positioned perfectly for these goals. Now, as you take a last wonderful, beautiful snapshot in your mind of this future you having this amazing life, rise all the way up from this future moment, all the way up, and go way, way, way high up, and start floating back towards now. And as you're floating back towards now, maybe there's some other changes that occurred down there, positive changes. Maybe some other sequencing happened. It's all good. You are safe. You are well. You deserve these goals. You deserve it. It's your birthright. If the universe, if the powers that be, if God Almighty put this on your heart, then there is a way to get there. And you are manifesting it. And as you come back towards this moment, back over this community, this house, this chair, back into this moment, taking some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And as you do, when you're ready, opening your eyes only as quickly as you're ready to integrate all these goals. Take a moment to be in the moment of now and record anything that comes to your mind. Write it down of what you're taking away from this experience. What some empowering beliefs might be for you. Habits to change, skills to learn. And take all the time you need to record that, to write it down so that you can start working on it consciously as your subconscious mind continues to guide you towards this like a heat-seeking missile.